Hello, this is Postdoc Chronicles week number 45, and today I'm featuring the game Cuphead, which rose out of the sort of collaboration between Nintendo and Microsoft. So they've been doing this like in Fortnite. They allow crossplay between Xbox and Switch on Paladins and so on. And in Minecraft, you can if you have an Xbox file or a Nintendo file, you can do some sort of cross-platform, something that you can't do with the Sony PlayStation. So Sony has been isolated, with this some sort of collaboration, and this year Microsoft took it to the next level, and in fact releasing their own game to the Nintendo Switch. So I always thought that this game would never come to a Nintendo console because this has always been a PC or a Microsoft exclusive. So I thought, yeah, I always wanted to play this Cuphead game, but then if I wanted to play it, I had to play it on the PC. But personally, I prefer playing on a console, on a handheld, than on my computer. And so I hesitated getting it on the PC. But then suddenly, this year in the recently concluded Nindies announcement, Nintendo surprised everyone by saying that Cuphead will be releasing on the Switch. So I got this day one. This is for $20, and if you haven't heard of Cuphead, it's a very hard platformer, run and gun platformer with a lot of boss fights. So along the veins of like Contra or Gunstar Heroes or something like that. But then there's a run and gun section, and then lots and lots of boss fights with insane bullet patterns and stuff. So personally, I haven't played it yet because recently, again, I've due to the very new last expansion for the Enter the Gungeon game, A Farewell to Arms, I've been trying to beat every Gungeoneer's pass in that game. But this is a very cool game because Cuphead, because this one uses the animation styles of the 30s, the sound, the visual style. If you recall those very old cartoons like Mickey Mouse and stuff like that. So that's how this is animated, and it runs very well on the Switch, 60 frames per second and so on. But I'll still be playing this seriously after my hype for Enter the Gungeon dies down. But yeah, if you haven't heard of or you haven't played this game, and if you're into very hard platformers, I definitely recommend this one. But anyway, let's go to my Postdoc Chronicles. So last week, we had a 4-day holiday here due to of course the Holy Week. So in the Philippines, usually the holiday begins Thursday, Monday, Thursday, and then it goes Holy Friday, Black Saturday, Easter Sunday. In here, it's different. Thursday was not a holiday; it begins Friday. But then I think they did that because Monday is also a holiday for some reason. In here, we have here something called Freedom Day or something like that. So last Monday was a holiday, so it's still a 4-day holiday, but instead of starting on a Thursday, it starts Friday up to Monday. And yeah, so for my postdoc stuff, I'm still continuing doing the background manipulation, background reduction and stuff. So last time I mentioned having found a set of constraints, more importantly, the jet multiplicity constraint. So forcing a specific number of fat jets, in my case, n greater than or equal to 4, reduces the background very significantly of the orders like 10 to the 5 or something like that. So now the order of magnitude of the background is now very comparable to the signal that we have. So the thing is, the first time I discovered that constraint, the jet multiplicity constraint, if I first applied it, for example, to a 10,000 events or a million background events, the mass distribution plot of the background is a bit scattered, so it's like some sections are populated, but subsections are absent. And then the pack in fact told me that maybe those are just fluctuations, and maybe in fact I have killed the background entirely. But I am not so convinced with that because I've noticed before that every time you increase the number of event simulation, the effect is that the blank parts in your mass distribution gets populated. So what I did during the Holy Week vacation, like I believe Friday, I went to the office, and also Sunday, in order to run the background simulation. So from the 1 million that I had, and which whose mass distribution was barely populated, I increased that to 5 million events. And of course, 5 million events would have to run for like, I believe it's around 1 day approximately. So I ran it on Friday, and then I went back so that I can also run the analysis on it. So that's another long wait because the analysis would again run on those 5 million events. And then I got the results back last, I think Sunday, Easter Sunday. I went to my office and then get those simulations. And then now, when I plotted the background, so we are now in this weird position where in our best case scenario, so when our best case scenario is when I say best case scenario, these are the plots where the Bino mass peak is very high, and this happens when the squark masses is very near the exclusion limits that we have currently for the from the LHC. So currently, so around like 1,450 or around 1,500. And then on the other spectrum, we have our worst case scenario, so very safe, large squark masses, but are safe from being excluded from checkmate or from the data that we have on the mass exclusion limits. So the thing is, if we go to our worst case scenario, the background is greater than the mass peak that we have. But then if we go to our best case scenario, our signal is better. Okay, but yeah, currently I'm worried that when I include, because so after you do the mass distributions plots, you're still going to incorporate the trigger cuts, efficiency cuts, and so on. So I'm not sure. I'm afraid maybe after we incorporate this particular cuts, maybe our signal will still go down. So I'm not sure, but yeah, so I already updated the plots that we have on our paper, the draft that we're currently writing, and then the sensitivity. So now with the correct background that I had, and then with the one that I simulated with 5 million events, when I look for the sensitivity, the sensitivity is now, it's still greater than the best atlas search that we have, but it now has very believable values. Because before, John can't believe my sensitivity plot because I'm getting like something like 100, 200 sensitivity. He said those are insanely high. Like he can't believe that those are correct. Okay, so now I think I have a very the correct sensitivity plot where our sensitivity is still higher than the best atlas search, but then it is on these values where it is a bit believable, right? And yeah, so regarding the Dai-Higgs model, Subhadip and I are dividing the task into simulating different backgrounds. So he found this paper where there are specific plots from Atlas where there are specific background events that we can use that will act as a background on our Dai-Higgs signature. So currently I'm doing that, but again, my laptop is now very, very small in memory. So right now I'm actually using the desktop computer in also simulating the background for this other project that we have for the Dai-Higgs. Okay. But yeah, so what are the other things that I did during the Holy Week? I think I just stayed here and then read some book, played some video games, and of course, I actually marathoned the entire Marvel films from Iron Man up to the latest Avengers Infinity War in preparation for the latest Avengers movie, which is Endgame. So I know it's showing today, like in the Philippines, but unfortunately, I'll still be seeing it this weekend, and I'm really excited for that. Okay, but yeah, anyway, this has been Postdoc Chronicles week number 45. I'll see you next time on week number 46. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.